That's a very good question. So this is a machine learning system, right? Learning increases over a period of time, right? Is it a would you think it is an accurate statement? So if that's an accurate statement, what happens once you deployed your system, you will keep evaluating that how many times your predictions were accurate. So suppose I said tomorrow it will rain in Seattle, right? Now when the tomorrow happens and it doesn't rain, you know my system didn't perform well. So that's new information you learned. You can feed this feedback to the system, right? Update your model. So when you are training your model, modeling happens there, right? You update your model with this new information. So you can course correct the model as you move along.
So you're doing the evaluation of how it's doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is all auto. So these all steps can be automated in a system. So you can have everything automated, like business understanding, and also you can have a feedback loop. So you see, one thing is important here. So see, all those things are feeding into each other. If you see, there are a lot of back and forth that happens. So you can have a new business understanding. Suppose, let me give another example. Right now, so let's say we are working with the stock market right now, and in stock market, so let me talk about Groupon. Again, don't quote me on this. I'm just making an example right now. So Groupon started in group buying space. That is what it was famous for, and that's what it was doing. So over a period of time, its stock was not performing fine. It kept on going down because of accounting irregularities and overall their business model. However, they launched into physical goods business. So they call it as Groupon goods. And as soon as they launched into that physical goods business, immediately the stock started going up. So earlier, if you would have built a model based on tracking how Groupon will do over a period of time, you would have built this knowledge based upon what their business model was earlier. However, now this new information that they have started coming into physical goods business is a new information which did not exist when you built this model. So now you want to feed this new information and say now how its stock will do. This is different information. So does it kind of make sense? When the new information becomes available, you want to go ahead.
So what I'm really driving at
Yeah.
is what comes out of the deployment. What are your outputs from
Predictions. The predictions. Like output is, will this stock go up or will this stock go down? That might be one prediction. Or will tomorrow it will rain or not rain? This could be a prediction. So this is giving you predictions.
in your predictions? So if you had another box between deployment and business understanding, you had predictions in there,
Yeah.
then you could draw all the arrows and get a complete circle.
Yeah, I mean, I just copied it from internet, whatever best I could get. The idea is that. So maybe I'll have another. You are right, probably that would have been it, but yeah, you could have kind of done it this way, but it's anyway. You see, there is a loop, backward loop also there, so kind of it gives you a message about it. So yeah, you could have drawn it any other way as well. But these are the basic steps. Anyone has any further question? Moving next. Yeah, go ahead.
So is there a way, I'm not sure if you're going to cover it later on.
Okay.
Is there a way you can actually machine learning will help in triggering, understanding the triggers, for example?
Yeah, that's actually I'll not cover that,
Okay.
but that's something that is very important in machine learning. That what are the key indicators that influence your data? Like what are the features that are important and what are the features that are garbage? You don't need them. That's a very interesting topic, but I'm not going to cover that. Machine learning is a very fast field. This is like pretty much like higher level overview, and maybe I'll show a demo after the talk just to get people to how to use it. It's very big. I myself don't know a lot of stuff in machine learning. Yeah, go ahead.
So based on certain input, it might have created a model for you, right?
Correct.
And then you realize that the model went in the wrong direction.
Correct.
What are the definition of wrong direction?
Yes. Yeah.
So are we also talking about this wrong direction becoming a feed for the future one, so that in case if the same thing
Sure.
happens again,
Sure.
it will refeed saying that don't take that route.
Sure. I maybe keep that thought there, and if I don't cover it in the presentation, we'll talk about it. I'll try to cover it. Yeah. Anyone any question, or we'll move next? So these are the 4 type of problems in which machine learning is divided. As you can see on the x-axis and the y-axis. On the y-axis we have continuous and discrete variables, and on the x-axis we have supervised learning and unsupervised learning. For the simplicity of this talk, I'll focus mainly on the classification, regression, and clustering. These are the 3 things I will focus on in this particular talk, just for the simplicity's sake, and plus I don't know much about the 4th one, so anyway I'm not going to talk about it. So discrete is when you have specific. So let's say I go to a particular blog, and on this particular blog, people comment in different languages. So this is a global blog. People comment on German, Russian, English. People can write any kind of language they want. They're commenting. And suppose I am a company, I want to really understand what people are talking about my company. But now people are, since it's a global company, people are commenting in all different languages they want. So if they have to deploy human beings to start going through all the comments that these people are posting on the blog, it becomes very, very difficult. How will you find one person who can understand all languages on this earth? Or like, how can you find 10 people who can keep reading all the comments and tell what was going on? It's very difficult. So an alternative could be, you can build a classifier, a multi-language classifier that will tag whenever it reads the first comment, whether it is English, is it Spanish, is it Japanese, is it Korean, is it German, is it Portuguese? So these are different languages, right? So you could build a classifier or predictive model that will predict what language it is. So it's not a binary classifier, whether it is language or not, but it is actually saying, is it English, is it Spanish, is it German, is it whatever those languages are. So that's something a discrete system is, like when you have discrete data points that you want to predict. A continuous system is, it's like kind of numerical, like you go through like numbers. Though they may seem like discrete, but they are very, very continuous in the nature. So you can have, whenever you talk about numerical analysis, you talk about regression, and it becomes continuous. Whenever you talk about labels that you are trying to predict, it becomes classification. Ideally, both are the same. It's just the way the data is structured. If you have numerical data, it becomes regression. If you have more like textual data or contextual data, it becomes classification. Internally, they both work the same, actually. Clustering is, as the name says, unsupervised. So I didn't define what is supervised learning. Supervised learning is when you have a data set, you use the data set to train a model. Okay? So what happens in the training is, so you have a data set where you already know what is the outcome. Is it true or false? You already know the answers here. You use that system to build a model and evaluate whether the model performs well or not. And then you show it the data which the model has never seen, and it tries to predict that what the outcome is. And when that outcome happens, you try to again compare whether it predicted correctly or not. So that's when you use supervised learning. When you talk about unsupervised learning is, you don't have a data to train upon. You just throw some data and say, find me some patterns from this data. So that's like clustering. So you may have like a demographic data of Seattle, and you just throw it at a clustering model. And what it will come, and you say, I want 10 clusters.